2021, I was doing everything the LinkedIn gurus told me to do. Jumping on trends, sharing selfies, commenting on 50 posts a day, posting at a very specific time. I was on LinkedIn all day, and it was kind of working. We did £300,000 in sales through LinkedIn that year. But then I spoke to a friend who spent 15 minutes a day on LinkedIn, and had just done £2 million in sales through the platform. Something was clearly off, so I dug a little bit deeper, and it turned out the majority of things we were doing just weren't moving the needle at all. So I quit. I quit doing 7 things, and ended up hitting £1 million in sales through LinkedIn the year after. Here are the 7 things I quit doing on LinkedIn to hit £1 million in sales. The first thing I quit was treating LinkedIn like a full-time job. So every guru on LinkedIn tells you the same thing. It's like comment on 600 posts a day, reply to all your comments, send these messages, post these different content formats, these carousels, and it's all great. And I was doing it. I was spending probably 3 to 4 hours on LinkedIn every single day. And we were getting leads from it, but I was spending so much time that it just didn't feel worth it. So I set myself this little experiment. I said, okay, I'm gonna give myself 45 minutes a day on LinkedIn. And I spent that. The first 10 minutes was responding to comments, responding to messages and notifications. If someone had commented on my post, I'd go and respond to it. If someone messaged me, I'd go and reply to them. I spent the next 15 minutes tracking intent signals. So an intent signal is someone in your ICP who's been in and around your profile raising their hand. So someone you think you could work with who's shown some sort of interest in what you're doing. For me, the key ones are profile views. So on LinkedIn, if you go to profile view analytics, you can see everyone who's viewed your profile in the next 90 days. And the other one was engagers. So if I'd posted about LinkedIn and they'd engaged on it, liked, loved it, commented on it, shared it, anything like that, again, that was a signal of interest from them. I'd then spend the next 20 minutes just starting conversations. I'd go through my profile views and I'd reach out to them with simple messages like, hi, so you viewed my profile. Is there anything I can help with? Are you just enjoying the content? And ironically, I spent something like 5x less time on LinkedIn, but drove more leads, just spending 45 minutes doing those things every single day. The second thing I quit was trying to crack the algorithm. People talk all the time about the algorithm and how it's changing and, oh, it's prioritizing carousels, it's prioritizing video, it's prioritizing this. And I was obsessed with it. I was analyzing reports, checking what LinkedIn was promoting, and trying to push my strategy in that direction. But the reality is there's 2 problems with that. Problem 1 is that the algorithm changes consistently. So even if you crack the algorithm, next week it might change, the month after. It is a full-time job just trying to keep on top of the algorithm, and the results from even understanding the changes that are being made aren't worth it. Then problem 2 is that even if you crack the algorithm, viral posts don't generate revenue. In 2024, I had this viral post that did 2.8 million impressions on LinkedIn. It was this story about my life so far. From that post, 2.8 million impressions, so massively viral, we got 0 inbound leads. People liked it, people commented on it, people even shared it, but like I said before, when we're tracking intent signals and trying to drive sales, those people who are liking and commenting on inspirational story posts aren't leads for the business, so it was completely wasted and all those impressions led to 0 revenue into the business. The third thing I quit was posting at optimal times. So all these gurus will tell you there's a specific time you should post. Someone will say 8:30 because that's when people are commuting, or 12 o'clock because that's lunchtime, people will be on LinkedIn, or 5 o'clock because they're commuting home. And like, these are all great times to post, but I've tested so many different times, from 7 a.m. all the way to 6 p.m. The reality is the only thing that matters is the quality of the content. Yeah, post at 12, post at 8:30, that's great. Sometimes I post at 8:30, sometimes I post at 2 o'clock. There is a minimal difference between posting at 8:30, 2 p.m, any other time of the day. As long as you're not posting at 1 a.m. or midnight or in the middle of the night, you're going to be fine. It's the quality of your content that matters, not some optimal posting time. There are no silver bullets when it comes to posting time on LinkedIn. The fourth thing I quit doing was jumping on trends. So back in 2021, I was jumping on every trend. Carousels are hot, do more carousels. Videos are hot, do more videos. People posting AI generated images, we'll do AI generated images too. It was really, really tiresome. And then I realized that the people I respect on LinkedIn, the people I follow religiously, they aren't jumping on trends. They have one clear message they're putting across. They do it in a few key formats that they're confident in, and they stick to it. Here's what we now focus on instead. At the start of the year, we create a one big message. Daniel Priestley has this concept of a one big message. For every company he has, he creates this big thesis and one big message for the year, and that's what they put out through all of their marketing. So ours this year is that LinkedIn is the biggest opportunity in B2B, and every piece of content that we're thinking about how we can push out that one big message. And then number 2 is we just find the best ways to communicate it. So we're testing different formats to see what is the best way to communicate this message. If we want to be tactical, maybe we use a carousel. If we want to be more personal, maybe we use a video. But the big message comes first. The message we're trying to share comes first, not the format. The 5th thing I quit was sharing personal stories for engagement. For 2 or 3 years, my number 1 content format was personal stories. And they were great for engagement. They were great for likes. But the reality is that all likes aren't created equal. I told you earlier that I had a story post that got 2.8 million impressions. I think that's 3,000 to 4,000 likes. I can go through all of those likes. Yeah, there'd be some prospects there, but I can't reach out to them and say, hi, so you saw my life story. Do you want to work with us? Like, they are not prospects. Whereas if I share a small carousel that breaks down how we got some results for a client, I know that even if it's got 50 likes and 10 of them are in our ICP, that's 10 leads that our sales team can start a conversation with. Or I could reach out to and say, hi, so you saw this post, is that something you're chatting about internally? Like, that is a massively high intent lead versus a story post just for engagement is not valuable to the business. All likes are not created equal. The sixth thing I quit was sharing selfies with generic advice. If you look back through my content in 2021, virtually every post I was posting was a selfie and like go for a walk, some really generic advice, and they were flying on LinkedIn. It's really, really easy to get caught up in this engagement thing of being like, selfies work because selfies are working for you. But again, all likes aren't created equal, but all posts are not created equal either. The odd time post a selfie, share a story, document the journey, but selfies with generic advice, and we all know the post I'm talking about, they are not one to put in your strategy. I quit them and they massively helped elevate me into more of a thought leader, more of an authority in the space. The seventh thing I quit was trying to sound clever. I'm not sure why, but LinkedIn as a platform, it feels like everyone just feels like they need to attempt to show that they're more clever than they are. But the reality is, people that are winning on LinkedIn, people driving sales through LinkedIn, talking really, really simple concepts, probably like as if they were talking to a 5-year-old. And that's a good way to frame everything you're doing. Back in the day, I was doing these really like complex carousels of all this terminology and jargon, trying to showcase that I knew all this stuff about marketing. The reality is, when you start driving sales, it's when you simplify it to like a 5th grade reading level. I'll teach one framework, one idea, one strategy per post. I won't add more things into it. And then every single word in there is very, very much simplified. And that way people understand it at a broader level. So a CEO can send it to his marketing manager because he understands it. An entry-level person in the business, an intern, can send it upwards to their marketing manager as well, or their CMO. And just being simple, more people are able to consume it. More people even get what you're trying to get across. The key thing with your content is to communicate your ideas simply, not in a clever fashion. So I quit doing all those things, but what do we focus on now? Well, there's a 4-step system we use that we call the LinkedIn pyramid. And the first step is positioning. Positioning is your foundation. Everything's built on top of this. So when people jump into LinkedIn marketing and they start with content or ads or outreach, the reality is you have to start by positioning all of your profiles, your personal profiles, your exec profiles, your company profile, all in a way that shows 3 things. 1, the outcome you provide, who you provide it for, and why you're credible enough to provide it. That's what you have to start with. Once you've done positioning, you can then move on to level 2, which is content. So in this day and age, no matter how good your product is, no matter how good your service is, people don't buy from the company with the best product or service. They buy from the company they see. And that's why content is so important on LinkedIn. But this isn't a virality play. It's more like a fishing play. So I'm putting content out into the world around my niche, my industry. I'm just trying to see who buys. I'm trying to see which prospects in and around my network that are curious about what we're doing. It's fishing. I'm throwing out my fishing line. That's my post. I'm just seeing who bites on it. And generally speaking, my content tries to tick one of 3 boxes. Demonstrate our expertise at solving a problem, demonstrate the results we got for a client, or challenge a misconception in our space or in our industry. And we distribute that through founder-led content, so across our founder profiles on LinkedIn, and then also our company page. Then level 3 is outreach. This is where all the money is made. LinkedIn is inherently a networking platform, so they optimize everything for starting conversations. When you start conversations on LinkedIn, that's where you'll start making money from LinkedIn as well. And there's 2 ways you can do this. You can use a bunch of clever tools like Triggerify and track intent signals and automate it, or you can just do it manually. Like I said, my 2 favorite ways to do this is go through your profile views, message everyone with a simple message that says, hi, so you view my profile. Is there anything I can help with? Or are you just enjoying the content? They'll either say, enjoying the content, you say, great, more to come, or they'll say, actually, yeah, really curious. And we often get literally briefs just back of like, hi, actually, I need you to do this, this, and this, and this. What would you charge for that? Which is fantastic. You can also go for your post engagers. Let's say I did a post on LinkedIn outreach, someone engaged in it. I'd reach out to them saying, hi, so you engaged in my post about LinkedIn outreach. Is this something you're chatting about internally? Or is this something you're curious about? Again, you might say, no, just like the post. That's fantastic. Or we can start a conversation off the back of it. Level 4 is ads. And transparently, we don't even do ads yet. You should be able to make 3 to 4 million a year directly through the first 3 layers of this. If you pass that, you can look at ads, but I'm not going to touch on that in this video because you need to nail the first 3 layers first. So hopefully this taught you to quit doing all these guru theatrical tasks on LinkedIn and just focus on the fundamentals. Get your positioning right, get some content out there, and start some conversations, because that is where you make money. If you want, I've got 20 plus playbooks on how to approach LinkedIn. I'm going to link it in the description below, and then just make sure you like, comment, subscribe to not miss the next video. My next breakdown is going to be specifically on LinkedIn outreach and the conversion messages that have made us the most money through outreach. So subscribe, excited to see you next time, and thank you for watching as usual.